Yeah, it disappeared. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to hereby call to order the Escambia County Planning Board meeting, regular meeting for April 5th, 2022. We do have our full board in attendance, so we do have a quorum. And at this time, I'll ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good morning, everyone. I was just excited that I didn't have to read 5 pages of quasi-judicial into the record this morning. So, staff members, do we have proof of publication of the hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and does that meet all of the legal requirements?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to waive the reading of the legal.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The previous board minutes were provided to each of the board members. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to accept as is.
So moved.
Motion. We have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You've been provided with the planning board hearing package for April 5th, 2022. The chair will entertain a motion to accept that planning board hearing package and the legal advertisement into evidence. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We will jump right into our agenda this morning, and as we typically do, we will come back to the action follow-up report and the 6-month outlook towards the end of the meeting, so we can go directly into public hearings. Our first public hearing is number 6, Roman numeral 1, a public hearing concerning the review of ordinance amending the future land use map SSA 2022-04, that the board review and recommend the Board of County Commissioners BCC for adoption, an ordinance amending the future land use map for small scale amendment. And good morning, Horace, who is going to be presenting this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
All right, you can start.
Are we doing the maps and stuff too? Okay, so this is the small scale SSA 2022-04, 7722 North Palafox, requesting to go from future land use industrial to mixed use urban. This is the location map of the site on Palafox. This is the zoning map showing the current HCLI and the surrounding. This is the current future land use of industrial surrounded by mixed use urban. This is the proposed FLU for mixed use urban. And this is the CRA, the community redevelopment map. It's Inslee. This is the aerial photo of the site. This is the public notice sign posted on site. This is looking into the mobile home park. This is looking across Palafox from the subject property. This is looking north along Palafox. This is looking north along Palafox. That's the maps and photography. Do you want me to go into the findings?
Go ahead, yeah, you can go ahead.
So
and go
this
into
small
that.
scale map amendment, future land use, it's totaling 7.58 plus or minus acres, requesting to go from industrial to mixed use urban. The subject property is zoned heavy commercial, light industrial, and is currently a mobile home park, which is now a legal non-conforming use. So the conversion from industrial future land use to mixed use urban would allow and be consistent with the residential development. Since this is a small scale map amendment, the traffic and transportation did also make a review, and basically they didn't have any proposed improvements scheduled for Palafox, and they didn't have any no traffic or traffic capacity concerns related to this. So this analysis, according to the state Florida statute 163.3187, For a small-scale map amendment, this 7.58 plus or minus acres is less than the 50 acres in size, and the proposed amendment does not involve any text change of the comprehensive plan, just to the land use map. And the properties are not in, within an area of critical concern. So basically, this map request amendment to mixed-use urban does meet all the requirements of a small-scale map amendment.
Okay, thank you, Allison. You mentioned it was in the CRA. Do we have any kind of supporting documentation from them, a letter or anything?
No, sir.
Okay, so did they review it, or do we know?
I don't believe they did, but Inslee doesn't have any criteria
Okay.
in the code, so.
Okay, all right. Any questions of Allison before we go to public comment?
I was just gonna ask, most of these are a result of the changeover, correct? Back in the day when, no, has nothing to do with that? I mean, what, we've got three that are fairly, I won't say common, but I'm just clarification for my mind that you
It
can't
was,
downzone.
Horace, go ahead and
it's
introduce
Horace
yourself
Jones,
first.
Director for the Development Service Department. No, it was not. It basically, it had a future land use category that did not allow for additional residential units. So when we converted, we just changed the name. But as far as the allowable uses, the old future land use category, which was C, still would not have allowed for any expansion for a residential area. The old, it was C, and the C codes, if it's commercial to commercial, they still would not allow that. But this is just, it's not due to the changeover. We just changed the name of it, but the standards still would have been the same as if it was the old C.
Industrial.
So by making this change, of course, it would take it from being a legal non-conforming to conforming. Okay.
Yes, sir, and that's actually the reason that the applicant did it. I think there may be some change over in ownership, and so they wanted to make everything consistent, this one and the other cases as well.
Okay, all right. All right, anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this matter? Yes, sir, please come forward. If you'll state your name and address for the record.
Adam Cobb, 30 South Spring Street in Pensacola. I'm with Manuel Shepherd & Condon. I represent the owner of this property and the other two that are before you guys today, Richard O'Brien. We've got obviously three separate applications before you. The genesis of this, I think I agree with everything Ms. Lindsay said. The genesis of this, just so you guys know, is that on 8100 North Palafox, your item number 3 today, it's about just shy of a 7-acre parcel. It's actually made up of two separate parcels, one of just shy of a ½ acre, and then the balance in the other. All of these parcels before you today have been used historically from anywhere from 5 to 16 years as mobile home parks. Like Ms. Lindsay said, legal non-conforming uses under the code. The genesis arose on 8100 North Palafox when our client wanted to put another couple of mobile homes on the vacant ½ acre parcel. He then realized, oh, it's legal non-conforming. So while this has been operated as a mobile home park for 15, 16 years, I can't put these additional units, or I can't apply for a DO to put these additional units unless we change the underlying FOU. And again, I believe, like Ms. Lindsay said, the genesis was yes to apply for the FOU change as to that one parcel, but do it as a global unit for all three parcels. Yes, to make these all now legal conforming uses, and also to allow for flexibility in the event there's any development moving forward. I think the MUU designation would allow not only the light industrial and commercial contemplated currently under the FOU designations, but also allow for potential residential development that would correspond to the existing uses of those properties. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have for me as to this application or any of the other two.
Okay. All right, board members, any
Thank you.
questions? Okay. Larry?
Good morning, gentlemen. Larry Downs Jr. Let's do it.
All right, yeah, we'll give you a
Larry's sponsored by
round of
Nike
applause
now.
for that. Oh. All right, right, is there anyone else that wishes to speak on this case? All right, Chair will entertain a motion on SSA 2022-04.
I move we pass this, where is it, SSA 2022-04 for approval to County Commissioners.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move directly into the next one, which I understand is now very similar. That's 2022-05. And Allison, if you just want to give us a brief synopsis, since we already have heard what's going on.
Right.
so.
Okay, so 9,000 North Palafox Street, requesting from commercial to mixed-use urban. So this is the location map showing the parcel. And this is the 500-foot radius zoning map showing the current HCLI zoning and the surrounding MDR. This is the current future land use of commercial with the mixed-use urban surrounding and commercial. This is the proposed future land use of mixed-use urban. And this is the CRA map, again in Inslee. And this is the aerial map of the site. The posted sign for public on Palafox. This is looking into the mobile home park. And this is looking northwest across Palafox. And this is just looking west across Palafox, that's Walmart. Looking north along Palafox, south along Palafox, and then looking north along Palafox. So this is 6.6 plus or minus acres, and this future land use was commercial, and they're requesting the mixed-use urban future land use. And again, it will allow for it to go from legal non-conforming to conforming, and it will allow residential and also some commercial and light industrial. So here again, the traffic and transportation did make some comments. They said that the county doesn't have any proposed improvements, and the road is functionally classified as a collector, and they have no traffic capacity concerns related to this North Palafox Highway. And again, the proposed amendment does comply with all the three conditions listed by the Florida statute. It's 6.63 acres, less than the 50, no text amendment change, and it's not in an area of critical concern. So here again, it does meet the qualifications and criteria for a small scale map change.
Okay. Questions of Allison? Allison or Horace, I know that mobile home parks have an additional layer. I think it's through the health department, is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct? So all of that is clear, there's nothing that we have to look at on that side?
No, sir. Now, when they get to the point where if they wanted to add a mobile home, then they would get back with the health department as part of the review.
Go and do that.
Yes, sir, and that's part of the site plan review process, the DRC process, and the performance standards and any other landscaping measures and that may be applicable if they do decide to expand their mobile home park.
Gotcha, okay. Well, I just wanted to say compliments to the owner. That's a very nice looking park. I think, you know, a lot of times people come and protest because they don't like the way mobile home parks look, but that one looks like it's really nice for the neighborhood. So that definitely helps keep people from showing up to protest things. So, okay, I'm sorry, do we have any speakers on this case? Sir, your comments are noted for this case as well. Larry, did you wish to speak on this one? Thumbs up. All right, good deal. Board members, any discussion? If not, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the third one, SSA 2022-06. Allison?
8100 North Palafox, it's 2 parcels, and it's requesting to go from industrial to mixed-use urban. So this is the location map showing the parcel. Okay, I just was looking at the smaller piece too. So this is the both parcels, the HCLI current zoning. And this is the current future land use of industrial with the surrounding industrial and mixed-use urban future land use. And this is the proposed future land use for mixed-use urban. And here again is the community redevelopment in the Inslee. And this is the aerial photo of the site. This is the sign posted on the site. And this is looking into the mobile home park property. This is looking toward Palafox from the subject site. This is looking across Palafox. Looking south along Palafox. And looking southwest across Palafox from the subject property. And this is looking north along Palafox. So this, again, this property is requesting industrial to mixed use urban, and there's two parcels. One parcel is 6.87 plus or minus acres, and the other one is 0.44. Here again, they are trying to make it a conforming with the existing uses. Again, transportation, the same comment. They didn't have any issues with the, there's no proposed improvements, and they didn't have any traffic concerns. And so the parcels are both inconsistent with the analysis for small scale, under the 50 acres, and doesn't involve a text change, and they are not in the area of critical concern.
Okay, Allison, would you go back to the site map? I just noticed when the map was up there. Okay, so just make sure we understand what's going on with that yellow line. What is,
That is the other parcel, the smaller 0.44 acre parcel.
oh, so it goes with that one up there?
Yes.
That part that's
In
down there, the triangular piece at the bottom?
Adam?
I might have some clarification.
Yes, sir.
if I might.
Okay,
So, Adam Cobb with Manuel Shepherd and Condon here for the owners. The small rectangular parcel on Palafox, that's the parcel that kind of created this issue, that my client wants to put an additional couple mobile homes on and apply through the county, obviously. The triangular portion to the south, I expect that is a residual from the county's maps. About a year or two ago, there was a title issue with the property owner to the south. There was a boundary line dispute. That has been resolved, and that triangular piece actually has been conveyed to my client via settlement with that property owner. So I expect that triangular piece is just, again, residual from the kind of change to the maps.
okay, all right. Thank you for clarification.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I got a question. real quick.
yes, sir.
Can you go to the proposed flu map, the one, I think it's two above that? So with the industrial being above and below, and looking at the satellite, both of those are vacant pieces of property. The one 3 down is a commercial building. Would it behoove us to also have a conversation with them and, or, you know, find a way to make those MU as well? Because it's kind of not in a conforming area, and those are, again, are all vacant if you look at the satellite map.
That's a very, very good observation, and we did notice that as well. Hopefully, if maybe Mr. Cobb can reach out to somebody to join in and ask them if they want to proceed with that, to try to make it conforming. That's a very good observation, because it could cause some problems. But if they want to go ahead and do that, we'll be glad to discuss that with them to make that change happen.
Yeah, that's my theory, is that would cause some issues if somebody came down later on and looked at that and said, what the heck are y'all doing? So if we could make all that, you know, reach out to some people and see if you can convince them to also go through this process and get all this properly changed.
Happy to do that. Yeah, I'm happy to reach out to them and agree that it's right next to, if you look immediately north of that, it's a residential subdivision, of single-family homes, it looks like.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to reach out to those kind of intervening owners.
I think it would be a good idea.
All right,
That's my only comment.
Mr. Chair, I was just gonna bring up similar, I think this defines spot zoning, and nobody wants to say that out loud because it's always referred to as a bad thing. And I'll go back to one of our county activists that's always in here helpful, that this is where we get to use the gray matter. I don't think spot zoning is necessarily evil in every case. This doesn't make a lot of sense. I find it almost interesting that we're looking to reach out to the people that own that. If they want to do it, they can do it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, I get it. It doesn't look right. And if I were a planner, planners in town are probably rolling over because that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think this is where you got to use your brain. And if the owner has it and the mixed use is kind of built in, and we're going to see a lot more of these, where we're going to, I mean, I always think of Gulf Beach Highway. It's going to be for here on evermore. We're going to be looking at these types of things. So I don't, and I want to go on record saying, I'm not saying that we should spot zone everything, but I think it takes our thought process and consideration, because I'd look at the same thing and go, whoa, that doesn't make sense. But yet the county has said it's good.
Right.
So what's the you know, sometimes you gotta, I think we have to think about it, and does it make sense? And obviously, the conform, this, you know, non-approved but conforming use for the last probably closer to 25 years, if I recall being back there, it makes sense. We can't just hamstring them because the color isn't the same, or the designation doesn't look the way we want it. But just something to think about it. And if Larry Downs owned that right up there, that purple, he'd probably keep it there just to aggravate us, you know?
Okay, any other questions from the board members? All right, anyone else from the public that wishes to
I'd
speak?
like to add something.
Yeah.
Now remember, all of these things, there are processes. Although it may look, and I agree with you, Mr. Powell, it may look like the right thing to do, but the county just cannot do those initiations because there are processes. Even with the future land use map, this is the future land use map. These things are personally regulated. The future land use category is regulated by sometimes by the state. But I agree with you. A lot of this stuff happened in the past. We inherited many of the sins of the past. I wouldn't call it sin per se, but many of the errors of the past because we got zoning and future land use so late, 89, and many of this stuff was already built. So we are still catching up and trying to clean up.
Okay, yes, sir, Mr. Downs.
It's, of course, I'm for this, but just keep in mind that we shouldn't be reaching out to people, you know, and asking them to change. I agree with Tim here, and asking them to do things to conform to the right color, the right zoning. You know, we inherited what, you know, horse, you know, we inherited, you know, what could be sins or eras, which really was freedom. Y'all know that. We inherited some freedom, some property rights. It's sad that we have to, you know, refer to it as sins or eras. You can't go wrong with freedom. You just can't. They should be able to use their property. And you're never going to make everybody happy. But prosperity requires freedom. So anyways, do as much of this as possible. When people want to use their property, you know, I hate to say it, we should let them, you know, let them. It's sad. And we shouldn't dictate every aspect of this color chart and these, you know, and these uses for some type of social engineering plan here. You know, it's just not gonna, y'all watch. Let's see what this looks like in 20 years. I hope I live long enough. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, I can't help myself. It's not sins or errors. It's the consequences of government involvement.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone else from the public that wishes to speak? All right, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 2022-06.
Okay, second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, good luck, sir. All right, we will directly go into action discussion info items, and we have recommendation concerning the review of the comprehensive annual report 2021, that the board review and recommend approval to the Board of County Commissioners of the comprehensive plan annual report.
Morning,
Good morning.
board members. This is just an annual update of how the planning board, DRC, Board of Adjustments, how many cases there has been, how many, development services has reviewed. A little bit of engineering in there too of the basically projects they've been working on over this last couple of years, giving an annual update. We continue to, we're trying to add last year's and the previous year's in, trying to get a 5-year working. So we started this last year showing the table from the year before. So you'll see each year should get a little bit thicker. Try to show a 5-year outlook or previous look of what's been happening. But this is just for a action report to take to the BCC at some time in the future, just for they can review it as well. It's a standard thing we do every year.
Thank you. Do we have can we pull the chart up? Do we have that handy?
John, you may want to state your name.
John Fisher, Senior Planner.
Thank you, Allison.
Make sure we're earning our keep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys can't ask for a raise unless you do enough work to ask for a raise, so, you know.
And let me add something, let me clarify something. Horace Jones again, because I know that we be watching, y'all be watching, y'all are stars, and y'all be watching on television all the time. Just like we do. So I just want to be clear, people watching us, again, as John stated so well, this annual report, typically back in the past under the old DCA model, everything had to go before the BCC for review, everything. It does not have to do that now after DEO changed some things, DCA. So the annual report, it is still done. It's still available for the public if they want to see it, but it's not required to go before the BCC for actually reviewing by them. It would be available to them, but if the public want to see it, they can always contact us. We just try to eliminate redundancy in government, especially when it doesn't have to go before the board. But it is available to the public, and they can view it at any time if they so desire.
So I have a suggestion. When you look at 8 rezoning cases and 22 total planning board cases, I think we should put the number of minutes or hours in there. That's about 180 hours worth of work for that. It's fine. We do appreciate what everyone on the board does. It's always a thankless job, and you get beat up quite a bit, but it's service to the community. So, okay. Any other questions for John on the report or anything? Okay. Anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this matter? All right. Hearing none, do we have to make a recommendation on this one? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. It's an action item. Chair will entertain a motion. Recommendation.
Recommend to move to the BCC, right? I think that's approval.
Yeah. Okay. Second.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Public forum. Larry, I know. I was waiting on you.
Hey, I've got some complaints to make.
Uh-oh.
On my YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, they are censoring me. And yeah, can y'all believe that? All because I do these interviews around town with real people and I ask them questions. I'm not even saying don't get the jabs. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking questions, and they censor the mess out of us. So is there any way that y'all could go on to my Facebook, Larry Downs Jr., or YouTube, Larry For Real, or TikTok, Larry for Real One, or my Instagram, Larry Downs Jr. Plumbing. And just like it, subscribe, you know, and put a comment in the comment section. I would really
Is this
appreciate
advertising?
It would help the algorithms.
Horace, how much do we charge for advertisements here?
As much as and you do have your planning board council here.
Yes.
Council here.
Gotta add it all.
I strongly suggest that, so noted, but don't do.
Don't do it. Larry, you gotta remember, the more people that watch you, the quicker you get censored.
Oh, it's amazing. So anyways, it's been fun. Hey, I just also wanted y'all to know that my whole family, with the exception of one brother, none of them have participated in the masking and the jabs, and we're still all alive. So that's good news. Just want to let y'all know. My brother did get the first round. He said he ain't getting a booster. And I said, why did you get it? He said, man, I had a trip to Barcelona. It cost me 10 grand. They wouldn't let me go without it. I said, well, even if it was 100, I wouldn't have done it, brother. But anyways, can you see how people have been manipulated? And I know this is a public forum, so I'm just speaking public because I know some of y'all may have got the jab, some didn't. Some of y'all may have wore the mask, some didn't. But as you can see, we're all still here, either which way. So freedom is best. Same way with this board. You know, freedom is best. Property rights are best, even though they may be inconvenient, messy. You know, that's freedom. So, anyways, thank y'all for what y'all do. I have seen, you know, some good motions here and some good votes, but it's not enough. We need to keep moving forward with more freedom. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Larry. Anyone else for public forum? All right, we'll hereby close public forum. Horace, director's review.
No, I just really want to say thank you again for, especially, rarely do we get a chance to have a full board. We appreciate y'all for what y'all do, especially as, and sometimes you have to agree with the staff, sometimes you don't. And that's your job, not to agree with us always. But we thank you for the support. We thank you that how you question some things, and that's what you're here for, to serve the citizens. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we do have some good things coming your way.
Horace, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I was looking at the future meetings, and tell us what's going on with LSA 2022-02, the Gibson.
Again, when they get ready to bring it back, they will. They decided not to bring it back at this time. Whenever we get the information to bring it back, whatever we need to do to get it back before you all, we will definitely do that. But they have made the decision not to do it at this time, and it's their discretion.
You know, I don't remember the exact terminology, but wasn't one of the issues was we were gonna resolve the issue of, what was a main road or whatever it was?
That when they decide to bring it back, of course, they'll have to come to staff and we'll look at all of those matters and things like that. So those things definitely will be addressed prior to it coming to the board, whether favorable or non-favorable, it will be addressed. It will be
I'm still
discussed.
confused. Maybe somebody can help me. Wasn't that the holdup?
That was part of the issue, yes, sir.
And it was kind of on staff to come up with that definition. Were we able to give them some definitiveness?
That is
on-
yet being looked at, yes, sir. That is yet being looked at. Until they come back and really, really fully engage with staff. Again, we do have some questions and some issues that we got to, and if they don't meet it, they don't meet it.
Okay, all right. Let me ask the question another way.
Yes, sir.
Are they waiting on us? Because it was, and the way we left it, they should have been
this
waiting
time-
on us.
At this time, they have decided, anytime a board, it's their discretion, it's their decision on whether they want to engage with staff to come before this board, again, on their project or their proposal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
we are
don't
waiting
we
on them.
still need a definition?
I would say the code is clear on what it says.
Okay, good enough.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else for us?
No, sir.
Okay. Good morning, Matt. Anything? from you?
Nothing today, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. All right.
I have a follow-up question from last month for Horace. I brought up the issue of the daisy chaining neighborhoods with a single entrance, pushing it over the max for the requirement of 2 entrances. I was just wondering if there's any
That is in
follow-up.
discussions. That is definitely being discussed. Again, when there is a decision to move forward, to address and to make the changes. If the decision is to address to make the changes, we will. But yes, sir, Mr. J, that is definitely being discussed on a weekly basis on whether or not we get the direction to yes, bring it back, for to make some changes. And when we do that, we'll bring it back to this board for, take it through the process. Yes,
Thank you.
Okay. Board members, anything else? Okay, we are scheduled for our next meeting to be on May 3rd. And looks like we have a couple of things on there. Do we know how many rezonings we have? No, not yet. None at this point? Okay. Oh, so I get another month without having to read the 3 pages in. Okay. All right, we're scheduled for May 3rd, 2022 at 8:30. If there are nothing else, then we are adjourned. Thank you.